Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. On Monday, July 31st, the North Hopkins Independent School District Board of Trustees adopted an order calling for a tax ratification election for October 6th to generate additional funds for district operations without increasing the overall tax rate for taxpayers. Specifically, North Hopkins Independent School District voters will be asked to approve a 13-cent tax swap, decreasing the interest and sinking tax rate in order to increase the maintenance and operations tax rate by the same amount. Upon voter approval, this 13-cent tax swap from INS to M&O will maximize state funding for North Hopkins Independent School District without any increase to the overall tax rate for local taxpayers. North Hopkins Superintendent Dr. Darren Jolly explains the TRE tax swap is basically a formality for voters to approve. The tax rate will remain the same per $100 valuation after the vote. Because the school district wants to raise the M&O tax rate to over $1.04, the state of Texas requires voter approval to vote on this matter because it does not, so that it does not exceed the 1.17 cent maximum for M&O tax rate. The 13-cent tax swap from the INS tax rate to the M&O tax rate will generate an estimated additional $250,000 per year for North Hopkins Independent School District, which will be utilized for bus and transportation upgrades, facility updates, energy efficiency, and parking lot improvements with no additional tax burden to the taxpayer, while still providing the funds needed to meet the current obligation for bonds. North Hopkins Independent School District voters will have an opportunity to vote on October 6th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the North Hopkins Independent School District Administration Building. They will have early voting on September 19th from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. At the urging of Texas Governor Greg Abbott, the Department of Public Safety will not charge law enforcement agencies for state crime lab services beginning September 1st. In a letter to the DPS, Governor Abbott asked the DPS to not initiate the proposed change for analysis of controlled substances, toxicology, and DNA. Despite the state's tight fiscal budget, Governor Abbott said it would be premature to consider charging law enforcement agencies. He said he would not allow the 13 DPS labs to be underfunded. KSST News reported July 25th that the DPS had announced they would charge all law enforcement entities that utilize their testing labs. That proposal had come as a surprise to Hopkins County Judge Robert Newsom and Sheriff Lewis Tatum, as well as City Finance Director Peter Karsten and Chief of Police Jay Sanders. This sudden bit of budgeting news created some issues for budgets that are nearing completion for the county, and specifically the Sheriff's Department, as well as budget process for the city. Judge Newsom and Sheriff Tatum stated the county would have spent about $1,000 per week in addition to their regular budgeted amounts for the testing. The city had not estimated the cost for them.
8 years ago, Fruitful Harvest Food Ministry was begun in Sulphur Springs. It is a local weekly food ministry started by two sisters. So today, let's meet Melba Sickles and Barbara Martin and their volunteer crew.
It got started in the year 2009, and my sister and I had the idea to start the pantry, and she had a need to feel needed. And she'd lost her husband, and I had a client base that I thought we could call upon, and I had the 501c3 status that we needed in order to get our food from the North Texas Food Bank in Dallas. And so we decided to see what we could do.
Well, we want to find out how you get the food, how you distribute it locally, and many of those facts. But we have a group of volunteers standing around here, and so we'd like to find out who they are too.
Okay.
Let's go this way. Who are you?
I'm Vicki Hathcote.
What do you get to do here?
I hand out the devotional, and I corral the people. I'm an old school teacher, and so I line them up and get them, especially when there's like 15 waiting in line, so that we go through with order, and that's basically my job.
Well, right now it's kind of a slow period.
It was. You should have been here at 2.
Okay. Who are you?
Mike Sellers.
What do you get to do here?
Well, I go initially to pick up the food at the church parking lot here, the Church of Nazarene. Our 18-wheeler comes from Dallas.
I have seen it.
And so we pick up the food there, and sometimes we have a trailer, sometimes we use pickups. We pick up the food, bring it to California Street, where we distribute it in the afternoon. We do have a great lunch now. That's one of the neat things about today. But it's just about being able to pass out food, not only physical food, but spiritual food with the devotionals we hand out. So it's a blessing. And I'm excited about being here.
The food usually comes on Mondays, Monday mornings?
Yes, ma'am, Monday, and then we distribute it in the afternoon.
Okay, wonderful. Who are you and what do you do?
I am Alma Pangle, and I come occasionally. I visit Sulphur Springs occasionally, and I help with the produce, and I have helped box up the groceries for the people to take. I'm just whatever they want to use me for.
Does it bring you joy?
Oh, yes. I love it. I love
We're going to talk to
here.
this. Thank you. We're going to talk to this young man.
I'm Blake Goldsmith. I help out when I'm down here in Sulphur Springs visiting family when I'm not up at college, and I'm just muscle. I just move stuff.
Where are you going to college?
Tarleton State University in Stephenville, Texas.
Okay, well, I think we're lucky to have you home for the summer.
I'm lucky to be here.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Carol Kirby, and I go help pick up the food also. That we use my car, and I've been doing it a little while. I work mostly faithfully in the summer, but I sub in the fall, so sometimes I'm not always able to be here, but box up stuff, and when we get in produce, some of it's loose, and we have to bag it up and stuff like that.
Thank you, Carol. Who are you?
I'm Millie Nyland, and I help bag produce, and sometimes I help the customers or clients figure out what they want and put it in bags for them. Occasionally, I carry it out to cars. I don't do the muscle stuff too much.
Okay. And this is the one who said she didn't want to talk.
I changed my mind.
Okay, tell us who you are.
I'm Catherine Ferguson, and I'm a school teacher through the year, and this is my first time to volunteer with the food pantry. I've been here every Monday this summer, and I have loved it. I've loved every minute of it. I mainly bag produce. You know, we get a lot of stuff in big sacks, and then we have to put it in Walmart sacks in smaller quantities for the people. But I've enjoyed watching the people come in. They know Melba and Vicky and some of these others by name, and they greet them, and it's just like, it's just something you just don't know till you experience it. But I have really enjoyed it this summer.
Good, and I can tell from the faces here. So you serve families who need food. How do you determine this?
It's determined by their income. And we started out by using family base from Prison Fellowship, the Angel Tree families, that we do that at Christmas time. And so from there, we were just going to do families that had incarcerated family members, but then the word spread, and so we do low income and those on fixed income, the seniors, and so we just go by what the North Texas Food Bank requires us to go by, and that's just an income base.
Okay. We're about to ask you something that I know kind of started also as a prison ministry, and this is a different ministry, not yours, but one belonging to your husband. Mm-hmm. Now, also Millie, whom we were just talking to, she currently has a prison education ministry that she is doing, and this too is close to your heart.
Right, yeah.
Tell us about Charlie Sickles and his ministry.
Charlie surrendered his life and his will to the Lord in the year of 1989. In the year 1990, he got an invitation, or someone asked him, would you go and visit my grandson at the county jail? And so that's where the jail ministry started. And then he got an invitation to go and start a Bible study at the state prisons. And so from then, we've just been doing we have done as many as 60 services a month in the prisons and the jails, but it's kind of down a little now. We do probably 7 or 8 services at the prison, and we have services at the county jail. And he also does mission work.
Okay, and that's what I want to ask about too.
Yeah.
For a long time, he's done mission work out of the country.
Right. He took his first medical mission trip, or his first mission trip, it wasn't medical, in the year 1992.
Maybe it's on our notes here.
1992, we went to Russia with Texas Baptist Men, and in 93, we started going to Honduras, and we took medical missions there, and we did that until the year 2000, and then we got an invitation to go to the Philippines. So we've been serving in the Philippines every year since the year 2000.
Wow.
Where we have a campus and a seminary and many churches and feeding programs, feeding the little children. And then in 2008, he started doing some work in Africa.
And I believe that's where he may be going again this summer. Back on the ministry in Philippines, it started in a very impoverished area.
Right. Yeah. His desire was to serve the people in the professional people, to plant a church in the downtown of Surigao City on the island of Mindanao. But it so happened that the people that were coming to the church were people from this real poor area, and so they decided to to build a church. We purchased some land and built a church there for the people to come to in Sabang, and it's the poorest barangay. There's 54 barangays in Surigao City, and it's the poorest of all the 54.
So it has its roots down now.
Yes, yes.
That freed Charlie up to be able to find another place to go where he was needed.
True. He used to spend 6 months out of the year, from 2006 to 2015, 3 months in the spring and 3 months in the fall, which was a huge commitment and for both of us. And then last year, he stayed 1 month in the spring and 1 month in the fall. And so now he's able to focus more on the ministry in Africa to see what God would have him to do there.
Okay. Meantime, you're busy with this ministry.
Amen.
Feeding people. And you wanted to do that even before these doors opened.
That's true. I've always had that in my heart. I just never knew the avenue to take to get there. But this has always been very close to my heart, was to feed people.
Okay. So this group of volunteers is pretty much your core group.
Yes.
And your sister, the co-founder, she is inside.
Yes.
Shall we go and see what it is that she does and her volunteers?
That's right. I have the ladies over here. We pack boxes. If the family is 3 or under, they get a small box, and if it's 4 and above, they get a large box. And if it is, if they have 7 or more in their family, they get a small and a large box. And I think we have a box right now that they need.
Okay.
Large, yeah.
Let's see how this is done. Mike is going to take a box off the table. It's already fixed. Then we're going to move on back, Melba, to another part of your operation. Hello. We have some more volunteers to meet. Tell us who you are.
Brandy Potts.
What do you do here?
I help load the food and carry boxes out.
Okay. Come and tell me who you are.
I'm Barbara Martin.
Okay, you are Melba's sister.
I am.
Co-founder.
Co-founder. We started this, I don't know, approximately 2009, probably.
How did it come into your life to do?
Well, Melba called me one day, and she said, I want to start something, and I need help. And she started explaining to me, and I said, I'm in. So I came up here, and we started planned it out, and this is where we're at today.
So you have everything organized on these shelves.
Yes, ma'am.
So canned goods and
Yes, ma'am.
other types of foods.
Yes, ma'am. We try to keep it organized so we know, and it helps Melba out with the ordering. Also, she does the ordering, and I have to write everything down that I think we need, and then she kind of goes by that, and plus whatever they offer that she thinks their customers might like.
Okay.
So,
Good. Well, there's cereals. There's all kinds of non-perishable here. Lots of peanut butter. Y'all come close and let me meet you. Who are you?
Candy Bells.
Okay, what do you do here?
I help put up and load boxes.
And who are you?
I'm Shelly Bells, and I do the same thing she does.
Are you just doing this for the summer?
No, I do this as much as I'm able to be up here now.
So you like it and it's part of your life?
Yes, it's very fun.
Help people, isn't it?
Yes.
And you have a couple more rooms back there where you have freezers and other storage area. Okay, so let's talk about the actual getting of the food. I know we talked about the big truck that comes, but how are you able to access this food?
We have to qualify, and you have to be a 501c3, and you have to take certain classes and be approved through the North Texas Food Bank in order to order food.
About how many families do you serve?
60 plus.
And I think you have a lot of volunteers here that manage food, but maybe is there an area of need that you still have?
We do. We need some muscle power. We need some young men that can do the heavy lifting, because our men are getting older, and some of the ladies help, but it would be good if anybody has the opportunity and would like to be a part of it. We would love for some men to come and volunteer.
Okay, so it would just be Monday.
Yes, and we start at 9:30 and we close at 5, but you could come at any part of that time. You wouldn't have to volunteer for the whole time.
And how would they reach you?
Oh, they can just call me on my cell phone. Okay.
Or maybe come by on a Monday here at
That
this
would
address?
be better even. Come by on Monday at 413 California Street.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so one more thing, just please tell us how you chose the name Fruitful Harvest, what that means, what that ought to mean.
Well, God just gave the name to Charlie. He started out, his ministry was called Charlie Sickles Prison Ministry. He knew that just didn't sound right. It was, he just asked God, just what would you have us to call our ministry? And Fruitful Harvest came to his mind.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
The Lady Cats volleyball team started their season with a 2-a-day workout on Tuesday. The regular season begins in a week. On the first day, I talked with second-year Lady Cats volleyball coach Justin Manus.
The approach on the first day is see where we're at physically, see what we've done over the summer. Tryouts are meant to be hard. I mean, they're meant to be hard to see how tough we are mentally. We had 40 show up this morning, which is a very, very good number. They're going to be a little tired after the first conditioning session, so we'll see how they look going into the volleyball session.
You guys don't fool around, so you've got, 2 days, I guess, to try to determine who's
Teams,
on JV,
yeah.
varsity.
We have 2 days of tryouts, we'll have 1 day of practice, and then we have scrimmages here with Cumbia and Commerce on Friday, and then go to Wills Point on Saturday. And so you just hit the ground running. These scrimmages are going to be a lot of moving around, switching, seeing what works best, but that's what they're for. And so we're going to have probably seven scrimmages in those 2 days, just to kind of see where we're at and what we need to work on.
As I recall, if I remember correctly, you lost a great depth coming in off the bench with Rita
and Tori.
Also with Tori was your setter, and that's a key position. You'll be
that,
looking at that.
That is a key position. We have some people that we're looking at that we think can step in and do a good job with that. But that's something you got to constantly train, being a setter. You have to train the game to them as well as the fundamentals to them. You got to know where to put the ball, just like a quarterback. Quarterback's got to make good decisions. So that's something we're going to continue to work on. You got to build your team pretty much around your setter. What they can do.
A lot of returners coming back.
Oh man, we have a lot of returns. We only lost 2, so we're bringing back 8 from that varsity team last year that did so well. And the schedule's a little bit tougher this year. I got some tougher opponents to see where we stand to get us ready for district.
You think about district? I think we were second last year. Is that correct?
Yeah, we were second, and I think first could have gone to anybody last year. We had Hallsville against the ropes right here at Sulphur, and we let that one get away. So I think we know better this year. I think that was a good experience, and those girls aren't going to want to feel that again. So I think they're going to come out and play hard throughout district.
Does it make a difference? I know you're a veteran coach. This is your second year here, and last year I guess you were trying to see what you had.
Yeah, when I came in last year, I didn't know maybe a quarter of the girls that were here, and so now it's nice to be able to look at them and know them all by name and know what they're capable of doing. When I'm pushing them in here during conditioning, I know which ones can push harder. I really didn't know that last year. I had to take a little time. It took me almost all volleyball season to just kind of figure a lot of the girls out, but we've kind of built a relationship, and so it's a lot easier coming in this year.
You'll have 2 workouts today, and I guess for a while, and then eventually you'll settle in, I guess.
Yeah, we'll settle in with 1 a day. When we start back in with in-service and stuff, with school, we'll settle in to 1 a day.
Lynette King, the coordinator of Wildcats football season ticket week, said almost 80% of last year's season tickets were renewed on Monday. Ms. King said the large turnout resulted in lines almost all day Monday. She also explained that the process is now being stored on a computer. The old boards have gone away. In an attempt to accommodate season ticket holders this year, Ms. King said hours have been increased, now opening at 8:15 a.m. closing at 5:30 p.m. with no lunch break. The activity is taking place in the high school media center. Ms. King said ticket holders have had good attitudes and are excited about the upcoming football season and the new Prim Stadium. She said renewals continued at a steady pace on Tuesday, and there was no line as of 11 a.m. Tuesday. Wednesday season ticket holders who have renewed may seek upgrades and may also request more tickets. Ms. King said some relatively decent seats would be available for those who are in line early on Wednesday. Tickets that are left will go on sale to the general public Thursday and Friday, and the activity will wrap up Friday at noon. Wildcats football coach Greg Owens said all he needed was a tent to have a 3-ring circus in and around the multipurpose building Tuesday morning. The 3-day Wildcat football camp began Tuesday for boys entering the 3rd through the 8th grade, and that was taking place from 8:30 a.m. until 11 a.m. Coach Owens would have liked to have seen a few more boys attend. There was also a session for SSISD boys only who will be entering the 9th grade, and that took place from 10:30 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. 38 9th graders were there, but Coach Owens was wondering where another 20 of them were. Meanwhile, the Edge conditioning program continued Tuesday from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. After weightlifting inside, the Edge moved outside with seniors running agility drills. Meanwhile, Wildcats football coaches were busy with the camp sessions. The young kids got fundamentals. 9th graders got an organized practice like they'll see during upcoming fall workouts. The camps and the Edge will continue through Thursday morning. And the Hopkins County Sweeties continued their offensive explosion in the Dixie Sweeties World Series, defeating Alexandria, Louisiana 33-22 on Monday night. The team's 4th win in the World Series puts them in Tuesday evening's championship game. The Hopkins County Sweeties will be playing Louisiana's state champion team. The Sweeties are coached by Tanner Reagan, Jeff Thompson, Andy Taylor, and Ladarius Harrison.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.
Are you going to your individual coach? D-line to Coach B. Inside linebackers to Coach Tillman. Corners to Coach Ward. Safeties to Coach McCain. Outside linebackers to me. As a receiver, what are you taught to do with the ball? Where's the ball? Where's the fade going to be thrown? Outside. Outside. So what are you taught to do? You're taught to lean in, yes? Lean in. Fade lean, yes? Okay? So when that guy starts to lean on me as a defender, when he starts to lean in, what do I know he's about to do? He's about to go out. So what do I have to do? I got to keep leaning on him. He leans on me, I lean on him. He starts to break out. If I'm leaning hard enough, what's that going to automatically make me do? It's going to make me lean on him. Does that make sense? Here we go. Hey, come on.